Expression is expressed for the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children and not for coworkers either.
Time we build back better like we're supposed to. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I am JJW. That is Deke. And we have no clever names today because we started the show like 15 seconds ago.
Sometimes we just need to identify ourselves, all right?
Yeah.
Especially on a day like
I'm
today.
him, he's me. I'm him, he's me. We do a show every Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning. Rumble.com/JJW or on YouTube, I guess, if you watch on YouTube, you boomer. And anyway, please like, subscribe. We're going to talk about news, culture, politics, fences, different kinds of, division
Building materials.
Yeah. Construction
materials today. We'll talk about everything.
On Friday. Yeah. And on Fridays, we don't do it by ourselves. On our Fridays, we have our friend join us. What's up, Dave? Oh, you're in the wrong spot. Hold on. Why don't you be down there?
Hey, morning, gentlemen.
Okay, so while we were trying to start the show and we keep waiting, we'll have to wait for the show to regenerate before we can join the show. And JJ does all kinds of work in the morning to get the show off the bat. And so I'm sitting there, and that's what I was thinking in my mind. I'm like, all right, the show's going to be about the wall. You know, I've got to have wall names. And I was thinking JJ Wall Inspector. And I thought, ooh, I could do JJW the Builder, because I was thinking Bob the Builder, but I couldn't come up with names. So that's perfect.
That's JJ Builder.
Not Bob the Builder.
I can't believe you didn't go right through that, like Pink Floyd and stuff.
Ooh, another brick in the wall.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't like Roger Waters that much. He's the
that's okay.
He's the lowest. Okay. He's the only one I saw live too. So.
All right, guys. So these guys all saw the stories. Last night I saw this story and I was like, oh, this is hilarious. And I started throwing in as many wall-related stories as I could. And I know the Deacon's eyes probably just rolled through his head as he was looking through the news.
Deacon worked about 17 hours at the radio station yesterday, so I didn't even see anything you posted until this morning.
Yeah. So we are going to talk about that. But before we do that, Deke's got some music info for us.
Let me fix my head there so you can see the shine. You got to be able to see the shine up here. You see the dot?
I mean, I can bring you down here if you want to be.
Oh,
does that help?
That's shining off my.
Now it's blinding. It's blinding Mr. Minister now. All right, so that's pretty funny. What did they call me? What was my nickname? Ditch Skull. Ditch Skull. Who come up with Ditch Skull?
Oh yeah, that's probably Richter. That sounds like a Richter thing.
Because from my 30 years of putting on headphones for 30 years, I had a Ditch Skull.
Ditch Skull.
That was Ditch Skull. That was the greatest. All right, so we're doing scary songs this month because it is Halloween, and we are. Let me just move this. You know it's song of the day. We want to see y'all's beautiful faces.
Right.
Okay, so we know that it's Halloween. Go over to our Discord server, and you will be able to see the playlist. Our song today is another country song. And this one is based on it was inspired by a real murder of a 14-year-old African-American girl in 1900. And her name was
a real story.
Yeah, Delia Green. And it was about, it's a Johnny Cash recorded. A lot of different people have recorded it, but Johnny Cash's song is the one that I guess became most popular, Delia's Gone. And it's it has some, the verbiage in the song is very brutal at times because I have been told not to play this song on radio stations at Halloween. I got in trouble a couple of them, and it's probably been like 8 years ago now, for playing this song because the person that was in charge at the time was like, what is that? What is that?
Really?
Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is a Halloween-y type. This don't go in the playlist all year long. This is a special Halloween music playlist that we put in about October the 5th or 6th and play up until the 31st. Some stations do that. I have several songs. I got about 30 here, Halloween-y songs that I don't play all the time. So this is one of them that I've played. It's a really good song, and it is a true story. So there's your bonus song, and we've got the Sinister Minister here. So I have a nice little graphic for you. Dancing in the Moonlight. It's our werewolf bonus songs this week or this month, and it's a Van Morrison song, Dancing in the Moonlight. It's a great song, but I agree. The Yonder Mountain String Band does a cover of this. It's a bluegrassy folk song. It's beautiful. Mandolins, violins. It's so good. So check out Dancing in the Moonlight. They're both on our Discord server if you want to go over there and see the list.
All right. All right, guys. I was trying to make something for our show very fast, but I wasn't as fast as you are. All right.
All right. You want me to keep talking? So in 1904.
No. All right. Oh, and my battery's low. Great. Watch my voice go out in the middle of the show. This is awesome. All right. If you guys didn't see it before, here is the title of the show. Build Back Border. And this is my clever way of hiding the fact that I don't know how to do the share tab quietly. Oh, I did it wrong. Oh, my God, I did it wrong. Such a dope. Here we go. Check this out, guys. Joe Biden is building a border wall after calling it a waste of money, not a serious policy solution during the Trump presidency. And even since he's been president, they have talked mad trash about border walls not being a effective policy. President Joe Biden will build more miles of border wall in South Texas after calling barriers a waste of money. This week, the Biden Department of Homeland Security announced the construction of 20 entire miles of border wall in Starr County, which sits just across from Tamaulipas, Mexico. The United States Border Patrol Rio Grande Valley sector is an area of high illegal entry. As of August of this year, Border Patrol had encountered 245,000 people attempting to enter the U.S. between ports of entry in the Rio Grande Valley sector. 245,000 this year. That's one sector. I must use my authority under Section 102 of the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act of 1996 to install additional physical barriers and roads in the Rio Grande Valley sector. Guys, what do you think about? Oh, Deke's gone. Okay. What do you think about that, Dave? Any thoughts at all?
I'm just going to stick with the no comment. I'll just let the news stand for itself.
Oh, okay. So
I have opinions.
Now, I do have some pretty funny tweets here. We have some tweets from Jack Posobiec, who was highlighting some things our vice president said way back when. Here's Jack Posobiec retweeting Kamala Harris from 2020. As I said, Trump's border wall is a complete waste of taxpayer money and won't make us any safer. That's Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States. And here we have her saying, Congress did not appropriate these funds for Trump's medieval vanity project. Let's be clear. Trump's wall has never been about keeping the American people safe. And now the Biden administration, for some reason, they're building 20 entire miles of border wall. So I was like, well, I wonder how many miles of border we have. Do we have like 40, maybe 60 miles of border?
Yeah, that's about it.
And we have 22 would make, that would mean 20 would be like
almost complete.
80%.
More than that.
It would be mostly done, right?
What percentage are we?
There is more than 20 miles of border for sure, according to this story on Newsweek. And Newsweek, they're real critics of the Biden administration. So, yeah. Here is a map of the United States. Now, all that red stuff, that's racist wall that was built by Trump.
Okay.
Oh, you don't see the right here. Sorry, my bad. Here you go. Here we go. You got. Let me zoom in because I don't want you to miss. Get out of here, Newsweek video. Nobody cares about llamas. Look at this. All of this racist wall right here. That's Trump That's Trump border wall. If you guys can see that, that's racist. You got a little racist wall right here and some racist wall down here in the south. But we got some blue wall here. That's okay. Not racist. That's Biden
Make it
wall.
a little bigger.
Way down
there we
here.
go.
Way.
So,
They want $1 a month.
so
Way down
they
here.
want $1 a month. Give them $1, JJ. Damn it.
Jeez, Newsweek, get out of my face with your begging.
Okay, so
If anybody's going to beg on
I
this show,
have done the
it's
math
gonna be
in my
me.
head, and I completely did not use
Yeah.
Google to look this up. Do you believe that? Okay, so there's 20
Okay.
miles
You-
of border wall, right?
Mhm.
And along the U.S.
Right down here.
Mexican border, there is, according
Yeah.
to Google, 1,951 miles of border between the United States and Mexico. So 20 miles of 1,951 miles is 1.0251153%. A little over
That
a
is
fraction, a hair over 1% of the border.
I can see how this can make all the difference in the world.
It's going to change lives.
JJ, can you do me a favor here? My
gonna-
my geology of Texas is about as good as my geology of geology. Where is
Geography?
geography. I'm sorry, geology.
Yeah.
I don't math either. I don't. Math. I skipped that day in
Yeah.
school. Where exactly, with your little pointer, is the major border crossing happening? Like when they went to Eagle Pass, I think it was.
There's a lot happen. This is the Rio Grande Valley sector. They
Okay.
come across here. They go across the border, and then there's like stolen vehicles, like tons of stolen vehicles, and then they just get on the highway and drive.
Okay, so that
So
that
they
is
cross
a
here,
legit
down here.
spot,
You
though.
could probably zoom
Oh, yeah,
in
no.
on the border and go all along the border, and every little freaking town that is 5 miles
Yeah.
from the border, that's a spot where they come through. Every little freaking town
Probably.
on the
Well,
border.
look, I'm gonna be honest. There's some places up here. This is like the Eagle Pass area back over here. You cross over here and you'll die. You will die before you get to resources. So they don't cross here quite so much, but they cross right here because we have a lot of towns. We got Brownsville and a bunch of little. And when I say little towns, I'm talking little towns. These are not big places. There may be 30,000 people that live down here, or 5,000 people in a lot of these places. So, but they get across the border, and then there's towns and roads and infrastructure, and then you can jet into the U.S. And then and this isn't an actual map. This is just a map with a picture drawn on it. You get over here east of the map, and you got that big old colony. They come right up. I think this is not 59. It might be 59. They come right up here, and then there's a big colony. But then they go all over the country when they cross the border. And it's not just people from Mexico. They're crossing through Mexico.
Sure.
But we got people from Africa, crossing the border. We got people from the Middle East crossing the border. We got people from all over the world. So, yeah, so he's putting in 20 miles to less than 2%. But you know what? Less than 2%. Well, it's probably, border walls are not effective anyway. That 2% probably
And
doesn't
if we
matter,
knew
right?
where they
How
crossed-
much is unbordered right now? I mean, we know that it's 1900.
I would say,
but-
eyeballing it, I'd say we probably have like 600-800 miles of unfenced border.
all right.
And there's a bunch of places here where the state of Texas has stacked up shipping containers, and Arizona's done this too. Like,
20
That makes the 20 miles a little
A
bit
2017 report noted that in addition to the 654 miles of primary fencing, the Customs and Border Protection has also deployed additional layers of pedestrian fencing behind the primary border fencing, include 37 miles of secondary fencing and 14 miles of tertiary fencing. I don't know what that word is.
Tertiary.
Tertiary.
Oh, wow, that's a cool fancy word.
tertiary.
I can say
I've
that
never
word.
seen that word
It is.
written.
It basically means like
Yeah,
third
I knew,
in
but I've
priority.
never seen that word written before. Tertiary. There's no
Oh, okay.
There's no S
Tertiary.
in there.
During
Tertiary.
Donald Trump's time, during Donald Trump's White House administration, his administration built about 370 miles of border wall. 80 miles were built in places along the border where no barrier existed before. The other 290 miles of Trump border wall were built to replace old barriers that were, compromised, didn't work, whatever. The overwhelming majority of the 2,000-mile long southern border has more than 60%, but has no physical barriers separating the U.S. from Mexico. So nearly 60% of the border has no barriers.
Yeah.
I was in Mozambique about
15
years. 17 years ago now, 16 years ago.
Mozambique?
And, Mozambique, yes.
Where's that at?
Southern Africa, right next to South Africa.
Okay.
And we were in this no-name town, and I noticed that several of the houses, not all of them, but several of the houses had these concrete walls outside of them. But what made them so fascinating to me, they're about 6 foot high. On the top, into the concrete, set in the concrete, were broken bottles. And they used that as walls to keep people out of the houses.
Wow.
Just take that for what it will. And then I asked, does it work? And then, yeah.
Those silly people in Mozambique, the walls don't work. That's not an effective deterrent.
That just
goes they wasted their time making
that just
walls.
Goes to show how privileged us little fat Americans have it over here. That right there, that little story right there is a nice eye opener to how we had it. I mean, now we were joking about the Ring camera thing because everybody's got a Ring camera, and JJ made it. I was laughing about that last night. I thought JJ's lying. I don't have a Ring camera. I got a gun.
Hang on. I think I have a. Okay, here we have a question to our favorite. Come on, stop playing automatically. We got a question to our favorite press secretary regarding this matter, and we have her statement. So if you guys don't mind entertaining me for about a minute and a half,
okay.
Let's see what the White House has to say about this whole thing. I'm sure they're. Well, I don't know. Let's find out what they. KJP, it's all yours.
Thank you, Kareem. As a candidate, President Biden didn't say there will not be another foot of wall constructed.
Not 1 foot.
That
maybe 20 miles.
Except what was appropriated in 2019. He said there will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration. So something changed. What?
You want us to break the law? Is that what you want? You want us to not comply with the law?
I'm not.
I'm comply with the law. You want us to not be in administrations that follow the
rule
rule
of
law.
You guys do this all the time. The student loan forgiveness program, you went to court to fight for that. If this is such a problem, building 20 miles off, why not just go
back to Congress? The Congress appropriates the funding. Congress appropriates the funding. We asked them to not use that funding for that particular purpose. They denied it, and now we're complying with the law.
If you have to build a border wall, but you don't think that it's going to work, then once it's done, are you just going to tear it down?
I'm not getting into hypotheticals from here. I'm just telling you what I can tell you from here. The facts are that DHS is complying with the law. This is from this was under fiscal year 2019.
Listen, Ducey, it sure looks like you're trying to call me out on bullshit. And instead of that, I'm just going to... Do you want me to break the law?
All of the incompetent press secretaries that we can remember that were just hilariously incompetently funny, KJP is at the top of the top, man. She is the most entertainingly hilarious one there is.
By stating, do you want us to break the law? Does that mean Biden campaigned on an unlawful?
She knew that before this press conference, she knew, oh boy, I'm going to have to go out here and say this. And we've been saying for like 3 years, the walls don't work. Boy, somebody's going to call me on this. So she was like, I got it. If I get asked that question by that awful Mr. Ducey, I'm going to reframe I'm so smart. I'm going to reframe this right away. As soon as he asks me the question, I'm going to change it from, why are we doing some shit we said we wouldn't do, to, oh, you want us to break the law? We're the law and order
nailed
party
it
now.
there, JJ. That's exactly a tactic that could be used, and it's probably, yeah. It's the double speak.
She thought she was so smart having this like quick draw response.
Well, she has a security blanket for being able to say stuff like that. And I understand this because I have a security blanket too. You can call me as a listener and be like, I don't like you, nah, 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 nah. And I can turn on the radio and have the last say. I have the last say.
Yeah.
Okay. I always have the last say. And that is a little bit of a security blanket for me. KJP has the last say. She can shut him up anytime she wants. She can say, we're not going to talk about that, next question. She doesn't have to answer that question. So she has a security blanket, and that is bullcrap. We've talked about that before, because these news reporters won't be like, even him doing that right there, I guarantee you he got a little strike on his little press credentials of being invited back to the White House. I'm like, you need to bring in another reporter. And the funny part is there's 1,000 reporters chomping at the bit to get to that position right there. They're just waiting for him to fail. So none of them want to say anything for fear that their company, get them out. Do you see the cycle? So we can't, when the press secretary comes up to talk about anything, Republican, Democrat, anything like that, whoever's in the office, you might as well just go mow the yard, because you're going to get more accomplished than sitting there listening to that Jaws move.
I mean, she's just so full. I mean, whatever.
No comment.
I think it's just super funny to me that she thought that she was so clever. All right, guys, let's move on. We got some other news. Let's see. Oh man, I saw. Let me go. I think we got some more political stuff. I want to get out of here. We got a mortgage we're going to talk about. We got tax. We got electricity rates we're going to talk about. So we've talked about this stuff a bunch of times on the show, and in fact, we've talked about Austin a few times on the show. Check this out. Daily Caller, your website's got too many ads. Will the police even answer the phone? A defund investigation finds that Austin citizens in distress. So crime is out of control everywhere. Like we didn't even talk about like Philadelphia having like random riots or whatever a couple weeks ago. But this is anyway. It's no accident. It's a choice by progressive politicians, by Soros DAs, to not prosecute what they think are trivial crimes that, over punish marginalized people that are committing crimes. Let's see. Here we have a quote here from Matt McCowick. We are not a city that can handle parallel critical incidents. Co-founder of Save Austin Now, a PAC dedicated to restoring public safety and quality of life to Austin, Texas. If we get into a situation where we have a serious bank robbery in North Austin and something happening at Austin City Limits Music Festival at the same time, we will not have enough police officers to respond to both incidents. That's Austin, Texas. And you know what? A couple days ago, I saw a story about Minneapolis. Minneapolis is used to have 800 police officers in the city of Minneapolis. And they have...
You say it like I used to and got corrected by that asshole in the elevator. Minneapolis. And I went,
fix their law enforcement.
Minneapolis. And he goes,
my speech. Sorry. Yeah, Minneapolis. Minneapolis is currently authorized to have something like 743 police officers funded, right? They have like 400 because cops do not want to work in cities that are going to prosecute cops for doing cop jobs. So
there was when we were in Minneapolis, when we were in Minneapolis, There was a big church up there that was in the city, and I'm not going to say what kind of denomination it was. Me and Ashley had to get a picture of the sign because the church said, "We welcome." We when we were up there, it just happened to coincide with the Pride Festival that was going on in the city.
Oh, yeah?
Well, this conference. So the church said, "We welcome all Pride people and Muslims to our city." And we just had to take a picture of the church sign that said that. It was Minneapolis was a terrible experience for us. And let me tell you one thing I did learn about the Mall of America, one of the biggest malls in the United States. There's not one store in that whole mall that sells deodorant. After we got messed off and missed our flight because of the TSA, our bags were on the plane, but we weren't. Yeah, you can't find deodorant in the mall. So, don't go to Minneapolis.
Wow.
I think I've shared this before. Average police department in the U.S. is 3.
Really?
Half of all the law. Yeah. When you consider like how many departments there are in a given county, average police department is 3, and half of all the police officers in the U.S. work at 5 departments. When you've got like New York, which has more police officers than we have in our county. I know I was listening to the radio show this morning, Deke, and one of the ads on there mentioned not calling officers on their cell phones to report a crime, but calling dispatch or calling 911. It just overworks. So, yeah, are they even going to answer the phone? I don't want to over stress what's already going on there. I just spoke at a chaplains conference, a law enforcement chaplains conference, on the topic of apathy in law enforcement. And there's a guy named Robert Tufflano or something like that. He's a former New York police officer who's now a crime reporter. Anyway, he was doing this this presentation for a group of police chiefs, 70 of them. And he said, how many of you would want to see your child in law enforcement? Of the 70 police chiefs, like the men and women who've made it to the top, and 3.
Wow.
3. And I'm just like, dang, because there's this perception through the news, and then just this general social media biasy maybe against law enforcement. And so why would you put your kid through that? Direct them away from that. And we're only going to see that get worse. It's going to take a generation at least.
I mean, it's the same thing with our.
There are issues that have to be fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Recruiting.
There are issues that have to be fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're just going to have this situation like in Philadelphia. This what was the story that you had up there?
3 officers were shot the other night. 3 officers were shot in Philly the other night. I got a buddy who's
really
traveling up there with his brother, and I'm like, hey, y'all good? Because I didn't. Yeah, but 3 officers, they were all in stable condition, all went to the hospital. So I don't know, it could have been a nick across the shoulder or something. But 3 officers shot the other night. Insane.
It's a situation that
I think I have a Philly story here. We have another Philly story here. We've been talking about these looters and stuff here, and I mean this is the problem, right? This is the problem. When there's crime, and you're lucky enough to get law enforcement to respond to it, because they're putting themselves in danger and they're not supported or whatever. But when there's crime, and then when the law enforcement actually arrests these guys and brings them down and tries to quell this stuff, then you have judges and prosecutors that are like, look, we don't want to hurt these kids' few chances at future in life or whatever. Look at this. In Philadelphia, the DA says to the judges, take it easy on these fundamentally law-abiding looters. Yeah, they're looters, but mostly they follow the law. Mostly they're law-abiding. Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner wants judges to weigh cases against looters on an individual basis and restrain themselves from being too hard on these fundamentally law-abiding. They're mostly good.
Who was the serial killer that was just recently caught, who we could probably argue is fundamentally law-abiding, except for the fact that he killed these individuals, but worked a solid job.
99% of the time, he doesn't
give them back to the community. Yeah. Or eat them.
The BTK killer was caught because he was a deacon in his church for years. His wife and kids had no clue that he was the BTK killer. Dennis Rader was his name, I think.
Is that his name? Is that really?
Dennis
I
Rader.
don't like. Yeah,
Hey.
I won't.
I'm gonna do
Amplify that.
I'm gonna take a moment here. Big shout out to all the people watching on Rumble. Rumble's the best platform, and it's the best place to watch our show Monday through Friday, 8:00 in the morning. Just hit like and subscribe, and then you can be here while we are talking about newsy stuff.
Talk in the Discord. It gets lonely.
Yeah. We need to concentrate on that. Krasner's is a progressive with ties to billionaire. Oh my God, you're not going to believe it, guys. He's got ties to billionaire George Soros. Oh my gosh. Listen, Mr. Krasner, can you not lean into these conspiracy theories, dude?
Maybe not so much conspiracy after all, huh? Junior?
Well, can what's the word for fact?
Truth.
Conspiracy facts.
The problem with that
Conspiracy
phrase
actually
is that
happened.
the problem with that phrase is the
Reality?
word conspiracy theory. That those words there have had a negative connotation that has been inappropriately placed on those words for
course.
years. So now when you say conspiracy theory, you automatically think of a negative cuckoo connotation, and that's not what that means. If you look at the root of the words, but what do I know? I'm just a dumb hick.
I put a message into Rumble. Like and subscribe.
Oh my Lord.
We got 20 people right now watching us right now. In wake of a highly publicized scenes of looting that occurred in Philadelphia during the past weeks, Krasner is now asking judges to keep in mind that the looters are not all the same. And some of them are actually law-abiding. This is Philadelphia. We're going to prosecute people in an even-handed way. We're not going to let any judge who thinks that there is a caste system and some people better get better treatment than others. We're not going to let any judge disturb the peace of this city. We're not going to let them disturb this piece or this piece over here or that piece over there that got left laying on the.
There's not the funniest line in that whole thing is that he thinks there's not a caste system in this country. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, there is a caste system.
Week.
It is
Absolutely is.
Poor people and rich people. That's the caste system.
Yeah.
And the rich people are making you think that the caste system is white people and people that are not white. Because anyway, it's all about money.
If folks don't believe that there's a caste system in this country, I can tell you a story to prove to you that there is a caste system in this country. It's a personal story that happened to a member of my family, and it's just proof that there's a caste system in this country.
Okay,
I got some stories.
That doesn't sound fun.
No, it's not. It's not a fun story. All right, I've got a couple.
We got any more political stuff? We got some. By the way, folks that are watching, some of you for the first time, we got a bunch of stuff coming up that's not political. We got
we like to have fun.
There's going to be some fun stuff too, but we're going to get this political stuff out of the way.
That number is going to go down, is what you're saying, JJ. No,
it just did.
Look at that! Damn. The title of this was "Canada will be there for Ukraine regardless of what happens on Capitol Hill." And there's our I don't know how to describe him anymore.
Trudeau.
Do we know old Zelensky there? Do we own him?
Zelensky.
Have we paid enough for him yet? Canada.
That's the Chihuahua of Europe.
I'm just stopping him up there. Canada has already provided Ukraine with more than $9 billion in military, humanitarian, and financial support.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. We've given them 90+ billion. Canada, come on. What you talking about?
Numbers.
That's right. Standing up for the international rules-based order, which matters so deeply for the peace, stability, and prosperity felt by people all over the world, is essential. Oh, Justin said, we're there with whatever it takes, as long as it takes. I wonder how Canadians feel about that.
Some of them are not happy about that. There was I didn't put it in the show notes. I saw a Twitter video yesterday of a guy was recording. These people would just go to these public events or whatever, and Trudeau was there talking to people, and he walked up to Trudeau And I guess Trudeau was just, doing a meet and greet, a little handshake, trying to do some political, whatever. And Trudeau reached out his hand, tried to handshake him. And the guy was like, I'm not shaking your hand. You're a piece of shit. Told him right to his face.
I've got some friends in Canada. I might message them and ask them how they feel about this, because I would like to know, do Canadians, did you hear the stories that we just talked about, how much of a shithole America is? Do you want to be that way? The reason we've turned into a shithole these past 2 or 3 years is because we keep giving all of our money that JJ so eloquently pointed out yesterday that we're just inventing to Ukraine. So
we're just making money and making your money worth less,
but
we're giving it to Ukraine.
One thing about the war is that I find, what's the appropriate word to use here, for lack of a better word, interesting, is the technology that has boosted up, and that we're seeing, that we already kind of speculated that they had this kind of stuff, but we're seeing drones be used all over the place, a whole lot more, and the AI technology. I got a new one here for you.
You are trying to get.
No, I saw that.
Look at this. A new nanotech cloak that can hide the heat signatures from drones. It's like a new invisibility cloak. It said, and right there, that line, necessity is the mother of all inventions. So they've got this new nanotech, a new cloak called Phantom Skin was developed in response to the Russian forces, they say. The inventor has wished to remain anonymous, but the new cloak is allegedly already on the Ukrainian front lines, helping to mask the heat signatures of troops and equipment. The cloak is made of black plasticized material with its outer texture likened to a camping tarp. The cloak can prevent the emission of heat signals by humans or military equipment, making them invisible to infrared or thermal sensors. Pretty sweet.
So that's pretty interesting. And my first thought was, you remember the United States spent like millions of dollars to make a pen that writes upside down in space, and then the Russians used like a pencil.
Yeah.
So you know that, right?
Yeah.
So my first thought was like, can't you do that with like a thermal blanket? It's like a piece of aluminum foil that's like a blanket, and like it keeps all the heat in. Well, if it keeps all the heat in, it's not getting out and you wouldn't be seen. So you could probably do that with a thermal blanket. But then I started thinking about, that phantom black, that blacker than black paint.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it's made out of that. That blacker than black paint absorbs 98% of light. And
they were talking about using
absorbs
that for air conditioning purposes, painting the top of buildings with that to make them cooler inside, so you don't use as much air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet you that the plastic filament that he's talking about there, I bet you that's coated in that super black paint pigment.
Look, dude, in my mind, I've got the Harry Potter invisibility cloak, and I'm trying to change my mind, dude.
Sorry.
Ramos,
you're a wizard, Deacon. All right. Hey, you guys want some good news? Some good. My screen went black here. You guys want some good news?
Coffee this morning. I gotta go use the bathroom.
Is Kentucky a blue state?
No,
I don't think Kentucky's a blue state. Well, that's good. See, that's good news. That's good news, because blue states are they're shock taxpayers' wallets with massive residential electricity rates. Oh, if you're living in a blue state, suddenly, oh shit, your bills are going way, way up. Blue state taxpayers were hit with the highest residential electricity rates in June, outpacing most Republican-controlled states, according to data recently published by the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Of the 20 states with the highest residential electricity rates in June, 16 of them have Democratic governors, according to the EIA data. The most expensive residential rates of the continental 48 in June were Connecticut, California, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York, Vermont, all of which President Joe Biden won in 2020. At least the least expensive states in the contiguous 48 were, let's see, I'm going to skip all that. Kentucky, there's Kentucky, and it looks like Texas is not in the list, but Texas has got our own energy infrastructure system. So, hey, that's good news, unless you're in a blue state. So for those of you that live in blue states, Well, we have some other news for you then.
I'm
Got
ready.
some other news. Yeah, here we go. Hopefully this is good news for you. U.S. mortgage rates have just hit a shocking new number, but that shocking new number is high. So, hopefully, you are not planning on buying a house this year. Deke, he's getting it. Deke's missus is a real estate agent.
Yes, we need to say that. You gotta, if you need a house, you gotta
Yeah, it's
message.
definitely been plugged. U.S. mortgage rates hit a shocking new high. Okay, mortgage rates have risen to their highest point since December 2000, as the housing continues to become increasingly unaffordable. The average for a 30-year fixed. I'm going to ask you your interest rate if you want to in a second. The average for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage climbed to 7.49% for the week of October 5th, the highest point since December 2000, and up from 7.31% last week, while the 15-year mortgage rate, it rose from 6.72 to 6.78% in that same time frame. Deke, do you has your missus been complaining about mortgage rates?
I mean, they have gone up, but she said, I mean, we said something about it not too long ago, and she said, they're not as worse as they could be. There's still plenty of opportunities for people to get good rates on houses. And the houses have gone up themselves, the value of land and whatnot. Hence the whole Trump thing. You ask any person, why is Trump being arrested? They don't even know. So she says that, and we just talked about this not too long ago because I said something. Ours is like 3 or something, 3 point something. And I was talking about, 7 point, they just raised it all. And she's like, and it's not terrible. She's still selling houses. And by the way, I'm legally required. I'm required. If you're looking for a house in Kentucky, please DM me. My wife's a realtor, so she will find you a good deal and help provide for my family and put food on my children's table. So
I'm looking for a mortgage calculator. Do you know the average price of a house in the United States? The average price. So you got
400,000, I think, is what I last heard.
Yeah, $436,800 as of the first quarter of 2023.
And let me tell you, okay, and let me tell you, I don't know about Texas, but I know about Kentucky, and so does Sinister Minister. He knows about Kentucky too. All right, Sinister, how much of a house could you get in Kentucky with land for $400,000?
So much.
You could have a 3,000 square foot home and 40 acres if you wanted that for $400,000. Maybe you could have some land. It's gone up quite a bit, and I'm probably
I think my house is 1,800
Mine's
square
about
feet.
2,000.
We've got, and 72,000 is what we paid for it.
Yeah.
No complaints here.
So I'm.
I don't have a ton of land, but I don't need a ton.
I got about
3/4
of an acre.
Messing with weed eaters.
I
think I might be a quarter an acre.
So I'm not sure if I'm doing this correctly, but I have a mortgage calculator here, and it looks like if you bought an average house in the United States, 438,000 at the current, what did they say? 7.49. Oh, okay. Let me adjust that. 7.49%. Right, and if you only took a loan out for $358,000 because you had to put down a down payment of $80,000, it looks like over 30 years that would be $1 million that you're paying out at 7.5% interest.
You start looking at numbers like that, and it'll get you discouraged. And Ashley has dealt with plenty of people that do not. There's plenty of people out there that have had a bad interaction with a realtor, and they think, I can do this myself. Man, the crap that she has to do I literally was like, how do people do this by themselves? She's like, they miss a lot of stuff. That's what I get paid for, is so you don't have. She knows this stuff and does all this stuff and is on the phone and making phone calls all the freaking time.
Yeah.
She's always, and I don't even, she's working, you know, that's her hours of work. So it's crazy. And some realtors don't, and people get a bad taste in their mouth and they think they can do this themselves. But you know, you use those mortgage calculators and it tells you this and you're like, I can't do that. If you're serious about buying a house and you haven't talked to a realtor, find a good realtor, because they know a lot more, and they can be like, oh, well, you need to do this or you need to do this. People that move down here into Kentucky, they don't realize they moved to Western Kentucky, and all these people are like, these Yankees come down and they're like, oh, the house has mold. This house has mold. This house has mold. This house has mold. All houses in Western Kentucky have mold. You have to combat it and do different stuff and whatnot. It's an ongoing battle. So there's different things that your realtor will know about the area that you don't know, that might save you from
and
you love the house. That's why you know, talk
something you don't know can end up costing you a fortune.
Yes, yes, I've seen it happen.
More than $1 million.
Right.
Yes.
But let me just say right now, 7.5%. That's not a good rate for you to take out.
But that's another point to talk to a realtor, because a realtor will be in touch with financing companies that they have worked with several times, and they know this guy is very knowledgeable. He knows what to do for this particular family that has a veteran and someone that's disabled. Then they have a special program for you that you don't even know about. All right. So talk to these people. That's what they get paid for. You're not.
There's first-time home buyer loans that are special.
Yes. Yes. And they know all about those that you don't know. So if you're looking for a house in Kentucky, DM me.
So, and if you're looking for a house, right? Obviously, you're going to need. If
you're looking for a house anywhere, DM me, and Ashley can get a referral fee to any state.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So one of the things you're definitely going to need if you're looking for a house, you're going to need a little bit to put down on the front, right? A down payment. You're going to need some cash in the bank. You need some cash in your pocket. You need some cash. And there's one young lady who's found a way to make some cash. Now, she was a teacher in Missouri.
Oh my!
Nice segue.
Now,
I thought we had successfully skipped the story. That was like 10 minutes away. We didn't talk about that story, and boy, was I wrong.
Okay. Now we've had some people. We've had some people that were running for office that were successfully doing this, and this lady, she was a school teacher, and look, I'm all for public school teachers, not public school teacher unions, but public school teachers. I think they should get paid well, because that's our kids, that's our future, right? And some of them don't make enough money. And when you don't make enough money in America and anywhere else, you got to hustle a little bit. You got to make a little scratch on the side. But there is a limit of what you should do to make that scratch on the side. This 28-year-old teacher in Missouri was a public school teacher, and she was doing OnlyFans on the side. She got into a little bit of trouble. It got I guess, publicized. And so, she's going to make a change in her life.
Who would have ever saw this coming? I mean,
here's the thing. When you go through life and you make a mistake, you get a chance to reevaluate yourself and be like, oh, I made a mistake. I'm gonna change the way I'm doing things. I'm gonna do things better tomorrow than I did today. That's the best thing about the sun coming up every single day. You can make a better choice today than yesterday. And this woman chose to quit being a public school teacher and focus on making porn, which she might have got the wrong lesson. I guess, I'm not sure. Missouri teacher in trouble for her OnlyFans account quits to make porn. Brianna Kopich stepped down once school administrators suspended her for having an account on an adult content site, and she told the Messenger on an interview on Tuesday. So she got placed on leave. So she goes, "Well, I knew that nothing was ever going to be the same, and I just went back to that as the best option."
Please quit scrolling and stay there, because I I have forethought, and I'm assuming what pictures are coming up at the bottom.
I really should have previewed this. Oh, this is Breitbart. So there's no more salacious pictures. So
some of those damn websites.
No, for real, this is the saddest thing, because like she's really gonna like these people. They don't think in the future. They don't think.
Oh, man.
They don't think in the future. Hey, I'm gonna have kids.
For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every choice.
I think sometimes it's even worse. I think it's not an equal reaction because some of them itch.
Mm-hmm.
It was always kind of like, oh my God,
JJ,
she's
you don't
married
get
too.
More stories. You don't get to.
I'm fired.
You're fired today. All right, I got one. You said we were going to do fun stories, and you lied.
Well, that was fun-ish.
Dude, I want to talk about the iPhone 15, the hottest phone on the market.
You want to talk about the hottest phone on the market? Okay.
The hottest phone on the market.
Where's
literally. I threw that in the news.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Tell me about the hottest phone on the market. I'm going to.
So they're having overheating issues, not even when it's plugged in and not even when it's being used. It will get up to 107 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hey, you can cook eggs on that thing.
It's ridiculous.
So I have tried to tell my children since we got them phones years ago, because they wanted iPhones, because that's what kids want, and that's what people want. They want to be a part of the group, and they got iPhones, and I tried to tell them how inferior that product was, and I tried to list them reasons as a kid. They still have them today. They have gone through twice the number of iPhones than I have my Samsung Galaxies. I've owned like 3 Galaxies, and they've really owned like 8 apiece. And my friend was in here the other night, and he said, "Your Wi-Fi sucks here." And I was like, "No, it don't. Why are you? We've got the freaking fastest Wi-Fi here at the radio station." And he was like, "Dude, it sucks. And don't say it's my inferior phone." And I looked over, and he had an iPhone, and I said, "It's your sucky ass phone, is what it is." These little Galaxies are.
I don't know. I had mine for a while.
I got a Pixel. It's great.
My son's got he likes his. He's got a Pixel. He loves it.
You guys are going to drive off all the iPhone people that are watching on Rumble. They're all iPhone cultists.
All right, I got a cool one here for you. We predicted we predicted something like this on the show. Where's our? We've got to get our AI.
Yeah, here. I think it's this one.
George.
Yeah, get him. There he is.
What's up? Oh no, he's over your face.
Oh, that's okay. So these cuneiform tablets, we kind of talked about those the other day. Cuneiform is one of the earliest writings that we have found. It's these little reeds that they cut into little triangles, and they use them to write on these mud tablets, and then they would fire them. And we have these tablets, and we talked about them yesterday with the Pythagorean theorem or whatnot. But they have now taken the AI, and they are translating it. This Akkadian language is one of the earliest known Semitic languages spoken in ancient Mesopotamia. So this is really cool for people like me. I like this kind of stuff. It's a really long article that's going to make you like sign. Oh crap! It's going to make me sign my crap. Screw that. So I'll post that in our Discord server to drive you over there. Please join our Discord server and check out the AI. But we predicted something like that. You know, when we were talking about AI several months ago, and you were voicing your opinion on AI, and I was like, maybe this will one day allow us to. And I hypothetically said, could AI differentiate between like different barks of dogs and the way that cats meow and say things? Could you think it can differentiate between the way that the tree moves on certain weather and does this? And maybe one day AI will figure out that this is a language, completely hypothetical, but we're using it to decipher languages now that it's taken humans haven't been able to do in a while. So one day AI will eat your brains, JJ, and keep itself alive. So just look forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
What do you think the Neuralink is?
So many people left.
That's the only damn shit you care about. Didn't listen to anything I've said. All you care, don't you realize that
I do care. No, my wife was telling me about the vacuum cleaner. She was like, start the vacuum cleaner. I'm like, I'm in the show right now.
That sucks.
All right, I won't bring
What's
up
your-
any. I won't try
No.
to make you intelligent anymore. We can talk about brain dead politics all day and not be be entertained by the little
Oh,
marionettes
no.
dancing around. I'm trying to get you to look behind the curtain.
Why is this Akkadian language? Why does this remind me of something? At first, I thought it was Vigo the Carpathian, but there's something that Akkadian that's ringing a bell.
Something comic booky, I'm sure.
Was that Gilgamesh? Was he recorded in
I don't know.
cuneiform?
Do not know.
The Epic of Gilgamesh? We had that translated mostly.
So you're saying AI is good, Deke, because it can tell us what's on these tablets that are mysteries.
No, he's saying it's useful.
Yeah,
Not good, useful.
useful. Honestly, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to bring up any more stories, so it's on you, Dave. What you got?
On me, we could talk about the swim team. That was in the show notes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we have time.
Yeah, we're down to the last couple minutes. I guess we can do this. Apparently, Virginia swimmers unite,
Mhm.
and they said, they speak out after biological male pulls Leah Thomas tries to join the team. Oh, they say pulls a Leah Thomas as the Leah Thomas. Is now
Yeah. So
a
what was
firm.
going on is the school was saying, but hey, we're going to break all these rules or break all these records, not rules, records. And so we got to give her a chance. You all, and to the biological females on the girls team, every time, just you all need to learn how to deal with this. You need to learn how to deal with this. And several of them were not comfortable with it. So the captains, and
You know
the rest
what?
of the team,
I'm
ended
really
up banding
proud
together.
of these girls and these kids that are standing up to this, because they're standing up to they're standing up to the peer pressure imposed by the school administration and stuff. But I'm really proud of these girls that are like Riley Gaines is one of them.
Mhm.
Paula
Yep.
Scanlon is another one. But these girls are on another team entirely. They're not these famous people
Right.
that have been right. So I'm really proud of these girls, because it means for my kids are going to have a little bit better opportunity than they would have had
Right.
when they otherwise. Because otherwise, the political culture that is imposing itself on the administration and indoctrinating itself into the education system that is trying to say all of this stuff is okay, that would be winning. But these kids are fighting back. They're fighting back now, which means that my kids are going to have a better chance tomorrow. And that makes me
Hopefully.
really happy.
Yeah, as the father of a daughter, I want my daughter to, I want her to be a strong woman. I want
Yeah.
her to be able to be whatever it is that she's doing. I want her to push herself,
Right.
and I don't want her to feel like if she does sports that being a
She
woman
shouldn't
is
have
not
to
enough.
compete against males, right? She shouldn't have to. It's severe. It's
Now
serious
there are
disadvantage.
some sports where I don't care. Wrestling is a great example. My niece, she kicks guys' butts all the time in wrestling.
Yeah.
and
Really? Wow.
yeah, she does.
Armbar must be doing arm bars or something like that.
I have no idea what she's doing because
And they have a lower center of gravity.
maybe. All
Maybe.
I know is she kicks butt, and I'm proud of her for that.
All right.
And I wouldn't want to fight her.
All right, guys. This is the way we end the
Sorry,
show every
sorry.
single
My
day.
daughter passed her driver's test, and they
Hey,
were
hey,
such
that's
a-
awesome.
All right.
Hey,
We went from serious to fun back to a serious story, and I was wanting to talk about that story too. And dang it,
Oh,
I
you
missed it.
you wanted to talk about this swimming
talk,
story?
share.
It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Well, in
I
fact,
don't
we're
even know
all
what y'all
fathers of
said.
daughters here. We all
Yes.
have little girls, so this is not like misogyny or
No,
whatever.
it's not.
No,
And
like
one of the things they said
literally
is they didn't.
talking about this because I want my kids to have a better chance.
The girls on the team said they did not want to take anyone's love of swimming away. They just wanted it to be fair and appropriate.
I agree.
And
agree, those
that's what the
girls.
ladies
Wow.
said, and I agree.
That's just
It's not about removing anyone's
scandalous.
ability to swim. It's just what's appropriate.
It's about to be joke time, but I got one more thing. It's real quick. Did you guys ever play Magic the Gathering?
Yes,
You did.
you know that.
There's a story
You
out.
know that. I started on Alpha. I had a
Obviously,
Black Lotus.
I'm not
I had the
asking
dual
as though I
lands.
don't know you have Magic the Gathering.
If
Matt,
I had my
I
Magic
almost bought a
cards
bunch of
now,
cards.
I wouldn't have any money problems if I had all that crap I had back in the
yeah,
day.
you'd be able to sell your stuff and pay your mortgage.
You could have lost it in the fire, though.
The head designer at Wizards of the Coast says that they're going to avoid the term witch because it's a real world religious identifier, and they're considering retiring druid and shaman for the same reason. So
Wizards, yes, this is what the D&D people are saying that they're
There are
taking that, and,
knights.
and there is a growing movement in the D&D community of
Seriously?
people that that are sick of this woke crap. These they call them sparkle fairies. These little sparkle fairies that come to a D&D and they want to play this game, but they don't want to follow any of the rules of the
Right.
game. They just
So
want to do whatever
they
want.
outlawed
So
races, right,
Hasbro-
in D&D.
Hasbro has seen that there's all these people that want to play the game, but they don't want to play the game. They want to do what they want to. So they're retroactively changing all these rules for the new editions and stuff. And it's pissing off all of us people that's played for 30 years. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Here's the key. I've been playing this game for 30 years. I pretty much know how to play in my and I don't have to buy your books. I know plenty of places that I have them. I can get that information, that knowledge. So if they keep pissing off their core fan base, these new people that have come in, they're all not going to stay. Out of 1,000 new people that come to D&D, probably 20 of them might stay for a year. So
Right.
what's going to happen to the longevity of this company is they're killing themselves.
Well, I mean,
and us old school D&D players are seeing it coming, and we're just letting it happen because we know we've got so much knowledge in our brains up here. I don't have to have your books anymore. I can do it all by myself.
In these games, if you can't have races, because having races is racist, so you can't have you can't have races because races are racist, and you can't have like witches and shaman and druids or whatever because that's real religion.
There was a
what are you going to be
girl that
left with?
There was a girl that quit our game one time. She had come in, she quit. Caleb told me, the DM told me afterwards, he was like, she quit because we had the racism. And I was like, what do you mean we had racism? And he was like, we went into one of those fantasy towns and I was a purple skinned elf. All right. I was a drow. I was a very dark skinned elf. One of the other guys was a gnome, a little bitty guy. One of the other guys was a dragonkin. He was a walking dragon guy, and there was a couple of humans and elves. All right, there's your party. We walk into the town. The elves and the humans get treated fine, but everybody else gets treated like a lower class citizen. We got treated lower class because this particular town they had a racial bias to us. Okay. My race was inherently an evil race. So when they see people like me walking around, you automatically think, because 99% of my race was evil, so and she quit because she didn't like that. Everyone should be accepted. We're in a fantasy world.
Read the books. Read the books. Read the books.
So
just read the books.
There are millions of game masters. There are millions of dungeon masters. You can find your one. If you don't find one that you're comfortable with, just quit. You're not obligated to play with them. And do not pay to play Dungeons and Dragons. There are dungeon masters out there that charge like $20 a session. Do not pay. I don't care what they say and how many years they have. I'm a 30-plus year dungeon master. Don't pay them. Don't pay them. You can find free games with good people.
The whole race thing is right behind everything in the whole Drizzt series, which is what Magic the Gathering was originally
based
on.
These guys are legit. They really know. They really know D&D lore.
It angers me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drizzt.
I read the books. The books you can ask.
Yeah, Drizzt Do'Urden was a
drow.
Yeah, he was a drow. He was a dark-skinned elf. The dark-skinned elves lived underground. It was a matriarchal society.
I have an idea.
We're nerds, dude.
I have an idea.
Jokes.
I think we should start a campaign. And guys watching, you should be part of it. We should campaign for, who is it? Hasbro? Abandon the copyright to Dungeons and Dragons because of all the racism in it and the genderism in it. There's males and females, can't have that. That's bad. So
what if I started creating a weekly game or a bi-monthly game for us three and whoever else wanted to join, and I try to mimic what's happening in the real world at the time with what's going on in the game.
Okay.
So right now, for instance, like this week, we would be playing that there is an influx of these
it's just
immigrants
crime
of whatever that
everywhere.
are crossing over into our
Once a
country.
month. Once a month. Let's
Once
do
a
it.
month game that we could film.
Could we do it on the show? Could we do a show of like
Yeah.
of a game?
Absolutely, we could. Absolutely. I
If
just
you're
have to
if
set
you
it
will
up.
look, I'll play. I don't want to do any like dungeon master stuff because like
No, that's me.
I don't want to do
That's
that.
me.
Yeah.
You will play. You will be the players.
All right. And maybe if Richter's around, maybe we can get Richter to join us.
Yeah, Richter.
Oh, he'd be
whoever
hilarious.
else. Yeah, I'd like to have like maybe at least 4. That would be great if I could. Have 4 or
I think
5.
this is a good idea. Could do like a
I think this
monthly show of
Yeah.
of
Our
okay.
viewership has now gone into the negative numbers.
Okay.
I
See, I'm
didn't know
now
Rumble
more,
had negative
I'm more
6.
interested
What the
in
hell
what
is
you're
that?
saying than right now. You guys, if you wanted my love, you should have hit the like button. All right.
All right.
All right, joke time.
Yep. All right. You go first because me and Sinister Minister are going to try to
All
guess
right,
your
guys.
joke.
All right. Guys, what letters are not in the alphabet?
I don't know.
What letters are not in the alphabet? The ones in the mail.
I don't know. Oh, good God.
Yeah, that was good.
That was
I'm gonna.
wasn't bad.
All right. Guys, I'm worried.
I win.
You won today. Congratulations. My HR rep at work the other day wants me to sign up for the company's 401k.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I'm really concerned because I don't think I can run that far.
Nice. Okay. All right.
Uh,
Dave.
I have a D&D joke, but I'm going to skip that one, and I'll go with this. So right now, the Highway 60 yard sale is going on. It's like 200 miles a yard sale, and we're doing some bake stuff for church stuff tomorrow. And I was making a cake, and man, I have batter all over the inside of my oven now. There was a typo. It said turn your oven to 180.
Oh. All right. Well, listen, somebody has to get that one. All right. All right. Guys, thanks for watching the show. We appreciate you being here. We'll be back Monday, 8 o'clock. Rumble.com/JJW. Don't build walls. Walls don't work.